As for the 8th and final episode, it's affected me more than any other episode to date. But it's one last episode, one last story that I'm willing to tell. So, where do I start? Well, I guess I could begin with where this story really kicks off, and that is what would be the grave of someone who had died. See, a while ago, one thing that I would do every few nights was, as a way to clear my head if something was on my mind, I would always drive off to some random location, such as a park. This park in particular, while looking kind of like a forest, usually wasn't visited that often, so it was the perfect place to be to myself and not be disturbed by anyone. But one night, somebody was there, and they introduced themselves as Stanley, if I recall correctly, was his name. He was asking me for some directions to who knows where. And when I was about to tell him, next thing I knew, he pulled out this switchblade and said, "Say your prayers," and tried lunging at me with it for some fucking reason. I have no clue why, but out of instinct, I defended myself like, well, any normal person would. That was my first time ever killing someone. Now, was I happy about it? No. I honestly, I didn't know what to think of it. I wasn't sure of how to react. All I knew was that I was in complete shock after having just killed someone purely out of self-defense. And to this day, it boggles my mind that such an event occurred. So, what I did was, out of respect, I took his body, I picked it up, I carried it to my car, and I drove off to the nearest river and dumped his body in, as a way to make sure nobody would ever know what happened that night. Yeah, sure, it was out of self-defense again, but in a situation such as that, would you want anyone to know what had happened? Probably wouldn't. Don't know why I even asked that. It's not like anyone's watching this, so it doesn't really matter. But boy, what a night that was. Kind of life-changing, to be honest. And from then on, I just did the best I could to cope with all of it, and tried my hardest to move on. And a week later, I visited the area that he had died at. It was purely out of self-defense. But I'm pretty sure you knew that, didn't you? When walking back to my car, on the way back when walking, I heard something. Some noise. That wasn't too far behind me, but distant enough that I was unsure of what it was. If only I had known what was gonna happen next. What was that? I had been shot. I'm not sure of how and why it happened, I just know that I had been shot. At that moment, my mind was racing at 1,000 miles per second. I was in pain, my vision was fucked up, and I was scared. I had been laying there for a little while, trying to get up, but no matter how hard I tried, I had failed to do so. Then, who had ever done it came up to me, and that's when it all happened.
Who the hell are you?
Sorry, nothing personal.
Ah! Ah!
me! I don't know how, but he fucking killed me! I just remember feeling something impaling me. A knife, if anything. And slowly bleeding out. And then dying. Or so I thought. Guess I cheated death. Because I am talking here telling this story after all. And one day I had appeared in this place, stuck in this darkness of some kind. I don't know what it was, but I was just stuck there and able to move. For it felt like forever, if anything. But then, somehow, I had woken up. I was in a body of some kind. But it didn't feel like mine. It felt like someone else's. And I wasn't in control of anything. Someone else was. All I could do was just watch and see what this person was doing. But then, things began to happen. You see, it started out with me only learning how to enter the thoughts of this person, learning about this person's past. I had learned that his name was Michael, and from there, I had started learning how to control these thoughts, learning how to view them as my own, because that's pretty much what they were. It started out with me unable to move, only being able to watch Michael throughout the day as he did things, viewing his thoughts and memories, learning about his past, understanding what type of person he was, and with time, I had slowly started gaining more and more control, so as I slowly started gaining my own memories, while his memories were being scrambled because of the fact that my conscience was in his body, I had to learn how to control and scramble his thoughts even more than they already were, as well as fucked with his memories so that he would never know who I truly was. I slowly started manipulating him by removing some of his memories and replacing them with my own. One thing I had learned about very early on was Michael's YouTube channel called MichiganerE. In fact, he called himself that in his older videos, and to be honest, at first I wasn't all that interested. He just seemed like another shit, low-quality, run-of-the-mill YouTube channel that just did your typical gaming commentary videos, and that was really about it. But considering he was a young teen in high school doing this as a hobby, I honestly couldn't be surprised. But one day, I had slowly started gaining a little bit of interest. Not too much, but a little bit. And I decided that I wanted to try out a video of my own, with a somewhat different style, a bit more comedic one, if you will. So, for one of my first times ever when taking control of his body, I had created a video called Confirmed Info. Don't remember what the specific title was, but it was something. Not the best, pretty garbage to be honest, but it was definitely something and I found it pretty fun. So, over the next 3 years, from late 2014 onwards, I had slowly started making more and more content, trying out things such as skits, the reading series, eventually going from talking over gameplay to doing more live action stuff, getting the green screen. I had also started out with a bunch of different types of clothing, from random shirts and pants to random hats and glasses to eventually being lucky enough to find that exact same pair of glasses and hat that I'm wearing now that I had first found in that closet several years ago. As for the see-through glasses, I would wear them on occasions where I was feeling better about myself. But even with how much fun I was having, unsurprisingly, Michael was slowly starting to become more and more suspicious over time, wondering why it felt as if this evil alter ego he had supposedly created was feeling less and less just like that, why it seemed like I was becoming more and more independent over time and was completely different from him in general, in terms of personality and look. Wondering why some commentaries seemed a bit different than the usual, and felt more like crude than MichiganerE.
But now I'm starting to wonder more and more if this is just a character that I'm playing, because in a lot of cases, these crude videos that I'm uploading, I don't even remember making in the slightest. I don't even remember uploading. This is a very common occurrence with a lot of newer videos. A lot of the much more newer commentaries are also all crude, when you'd think that they would be MichiganerE. And this character that I'm playing is slowly becoming more of an occurrence in all of my much more recent videos overall.
But of course, it was all because of me scrambling his memories, as well as our memories being scrambled in the first place because of me being there. He started trying to figure it all out, and unfortunately, he paid the price, so to say. I didn't want to do it, but there was no other way. So it happened, and I suppose now the rest is history, which leads me to where I am now. Now having full control of the channel, as well as having full control of this body, having a body of my own again. What the future may hold, I don't know, but I honestly can't say that I'm looking forward to it. But I suppose with that being said, everything has finally come full circle.